Hey guys, how's it going? This is a new vlog about the protests that are happening around this country, the United States of America, and I wanted to record this in light that I have been attending the peaceful protests in Las Vegas, Nevada. They've occurred on the Strip and they've occurred in downtown, near City Hall, near Stratosphere. The one I attended last night was up and down the Strip from the Tropicana to Polo Towers and back. And I wanted to say that following the horrific murder of George Floyd, that this is not just about one man's murder. This is about, I would also say it's not just about police brutality. It's about the culture of systematic racism that has existed in this country for hundreds of years. And it looks like people are really tired of it. But it's really a shame that it took another 50 years after the 60s, the civil rights movements of the 60s, pioneered by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, Cesar Chavez, even Gene Roddenberry's social innovations in media on Star Trek, that Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream is something that we're still fighting for because it hasn't been fully realized. When I'm with the protesters, I will say that I definitely am proud to be among them. That there is a greater good based on objective reasoning and logic and common sense. We're fighting for a greater good. And a lot of this has to do with something that Trevor Noah talked about in his video, his essay that I really liked, which was, this is a good fight between those that have versus those that do not have. So I understand where people are angry. I mean, I don't believe in looting and rioting for the sake of destruction. I'm all about preservation. Yet at the same time, I understand in the story when Jesus destroyed the marketplace at the temple, he wanted it to be a temple of worship. He didn't want it to be a den of thieves or a place for mammon, money. And he destroyed the marketplace, and it's not like the Italians today are still upset over that. So, it's something that the anger, by extension, is based on the notion of a problem that hasn't been solved yet. It's playing the problem when it's all about the anger. Now we have to find the solution. So the demonstrations, all the peaceful attempts to try to get America to listen, that is something that is worth fighting for. And we're seeing all these cases now of, even though the police are being looked under with a microscope now, and a magnifying glass on all their actions, we're seeing a lot of brutality going on all over the place, all over cities, in all 50 states. It's kind of unbearable to even ponder about. That's why it's kind of hard to even articulate it, because it's so hard to believe that now that it's being filmed, it's still unbelievable that it's like a free-for-all. Time to just keep beating up on people because they can do it, and that's scary. We can't live in a society that functions like a police state, and we can't live in a fascist society either, which is what this fake president is trying to lead us down a path of darkness and all cognitive bias that is directed towards hate and dividing us. That's all cognitive bias. That's in psychology. And it's a scary psychological cultural war, because the people that are fighting for a greater good are looking at data that suggests that these are the steps we can take to make things better. I'm not somebody that condemns people all the time. I don't look at races and groups of people. I look at people who, based on their actions, it's not our beliefs that make us good, it's our actions. But I look at their actions to see if this is a good person or not, to hang out with them saying, okay, this person's done a lot of good things, I admire them, I'd like to work with them, collaborate, be friends. That's what I am looking for. I want to make friends with as many people as possible. You can't always do that, but you can at least try. And I think that if you go through life working hard to make as many friends as you can, to work with as many people as possible, I think some really great good can happen. And that's based on objective reasoning, on the data that says, yes, love and preservation is something that is far more logical and is far more beneficial. Everybody gets it sparks all the most magical elements of humanity in terms of how we can try to make things function better for everyone. If everyone lived in a house and had a great quality of life, life would be better for everyone as far as I'm concerned. Like, everybody would like that. You know, everybody would be happier if they had food on the table. Everybody would be happier if they had access to free medicines. That's just something that is common sense. So when I'm walking with the Black Lives Matter groups, I'm reminded that the anger is potent and very justified, but we're walking peacefully because we're walking toward a future that means something more, a better future. That's what it feels like when you're walking. You're walking towards the future. And that's why when you hold up a sign, you're trying to teach people, educate people on what the problem is, but you're walking towards the solution, the better equation. So, wanted to just discuss that and provide the photos of the event, and I thought that would be probably the best essay I can provide at this time in June 2020, that hopefully, looking back on this moment, I think this is something that will be a teachable moment. At least I hope so. So, I'm humbled to all those who watch my channel, who've watched this video, who pay attention to anybody's vlogs. Just remember to listen. I think if you listen more, you will be able to achieve more respect and understanding. God bless. And always fight for the greater good when it's based on objective reasoning, logic, and common sense. Greg Van Cott, A Flicker Theater.